Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of the Mumbai Manifesto. Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of the Mumbai Manifesto. Today we're going to discuss something critical, something vitally important without which Mumbai is incomplete. We're going to talk about Mumbai's suburban rail system, the local trains that ferry millions of people up and down, every day from work to home. To discuss this topic, we have with us a very distinguished guest, Mr. Vivek Sahai. Now, Mr. Vivek Sahai has been the former chairman of the Railway Board of India. He's been the ex-officio principal secretary to the Government of India, the ex-chairman of the Delhi Freight Corridor, the DFC or the DMIC, and has served on the National Transport Development Policy Committee for the Government of India. I know Mr. Vivek Sahai from the Observer Research Foundation, where we worked together. I, of course, was working on urban issues. Mr. Sahai was working on the suburban rail system with a brilliant team. And it is here that I got to learn so many nuanced aspects of the suburban rail systems, the many challenges that it takes to run this huge machinery on a daily basis and keep it going. And of course, learned how these things can be improved incrementally, big changes, little changes. And to discuss all of these, we have with us Mr. Vivek Sahai. Welcome to the Mumbai Manifesto.
Thank you very much, Gautam. It was very nice of you to have remembered me on this very important topic for Mumbai, and I must compliment you on taking up in the Mumbai Manifesto, because suburban rail system of Mumbai is an integral part of the Mumbai life. It's an integral part of being a maximum city. Without Mumbai having its suburban rail system, it can't be a maximum city.
Absolutely.
So that is the first thing we must all realize, that suburban rail system of Mumbai is what made Mumbai in the last 70 years, especially after the independence. In fact, if you think in 60s, Kolkata was a very important center. It was the largest, West Bengal was the largest industrial state. It had the best films coming out, Satyajit Ray, Mrinal Sen, Suchitra Sen. They had some of the best, the doyens of film making and acting and all, but yet Mumbai took off. Why? The big houses came to Mumbai. Why? It was because of a very, very predictable, cheap and comfortable, which many may not like to agree, but then in 50s and 60s.
in the early days, it was certainly.
So that is the urban system through which the people could commute over large distances and come to the famous studio, Kamal Amrohi studio and all. Reaching there is such a nightmare, but due to the railway system, even the lowest of the worker in the hierarchy could travel in Mumbai and use it.
Incredible. And
that is how the Birlas, the Tatas, the Thapas, everybody got into Mumbai in a big way after 60s, when Kolkata started deteriorating and Mumbai was the beneficiary.
Amazing.
But if the suburban rail system was not there at that time to support it, probably people could have gone somewhere else, or it would not have been so attractive to everybody.
Correct. So it's more than being the lifeline of Mumbai, it is an integral part of why Mumbai is Mumbai to begin, or why Mumbai became Mumbai. So
you please realize that people used to come to Mumbai by French mail from Peshawar, whether it was Dilip Kumar or Devanand or Prithviraj Kapoor. Everybody came here, and they all then used to commute by railways to reach there till they became famous.
Correct.
You read about them.
Yes.
This is the railway system which supported all such activities, which grew in late 40s, especially after 1947. It was so well looked after.
Yes.
And after 47, Bollywood became what it is today.
Right. Absolutely.
That's how I see it.
I think you've mentioned something amazing about the synchronicity between the railways and Mumbai and the growth. The fact that we have two headquarters here of the Central and the Western Railways. But You also mentioned something about predictability in terms of time, and I feel, Mumbai is a rare city in India. Correct me if I'm wrong, because you've lived all over the country, you've worked all over the country. But the Mumbaikar seems to be the most punctual Indian.
I'll tell you.
It's a part of culture and habit. And I take a lot of pride in this about my city, that we are a punctual city. We get there on time when we're going to say we're going to get there on time. And I feel this culturally has been ingrained in some ways because of the railways.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Gautam. This again has to be felt. Those people who have lived here for last 40, 50 years, please understand what is the USP of railways here. In Mumbai's urban USP, there are two very important factors. The unique selling point of these, it is cheap, it is predictable. It runs to time. Western Railway timetable used to be 95 to 96% punctuality. And every 3 minutes you have a train on each platform. And when you have got two corridors, so effectively you have a train every 1.5 minutes, you have to decide whether you take this corridor or that corridor. That's why you find people standing on the foot of a bridges to find out which one they should take.
Correct.
But now, due to the technological progress, you have got so many aids, you have got apps in your mobile, you can decide which train is coming at what time and where you should go. But effectively, you are having a train at 1.5 minutes, almost at every important junction station where
that's
fast locals. That's incredible.
That is absolutely incredible. And while we celebrate the suburban rail system in Mumbai, in fact, there are people who would say that it is the most sustainable mode of transport in the world, given the number of people who are traveling in that in each single train at rush hour, for example. And you look at the carbon footprint.
Yes.
It is minuscule. It is probably the most sustainable city in terms of public transport in that sense.
And especially after MRVC having brought in the new technology rakes.
Correct.
These rakes have definitely changed our carbon footprint. If I remember correctly, I have not checked the figures recently, but I think they had reduced it by half. What we were doing earlier. That is per passenger kilometer.
Right. Now, there is absolutely no doubt of the enormous contribution of the Indian Railways to Mumbai and thereby to the country through Mumbai. But if we look at it today, we must acknowledge that there are a lot of challenges.
Yes.
One of the most in-your-face statistics is the deaths that happen on the suburban rail system. There was an ORF report which had estimated something like 8 to 10 daily deaths.
Yes.
And as an aggregate, when you add it up, it exceeds that of the Bhopal gas tragedy every year on our suburban rail systems. Now, while the railways does a lot, how does it internalize this? How does it justify this going on? And what is the nature of discussion that takes place at the back end?
I agree with you that it's a very, very sad spectacle for even railwaymen to see so many people getting killed. But there are 2-3 aspects of it. Please appreciate the problem holistically. Trains are jam-packed, and if you are hanging on the footboard, there is a chance of you falling down. If you, especially in monsoon season, you do it, you have a probability of slipping. But many people, more than that, who fall from the train, they are run over when they are walking along the track or they are crossing the track. And they are actually, railways calls them trespassers. Because they are not supposed to do it. But why do they do it? The reason is that in our urban growth, we have not provided access to them on the civil land to walk. Provided them the shortest possible way. Even you find school children going along the track to their school, and they're 10, 11, 12-year-old boys, girls. Why? Why should they? One commits a mistake and gets hit.
I think it's a very good point.
So, first thing, why should people trespass so much? So now trespass has also got 2-3 dimensions. There is where railway is involved, that is the trespassing at the railway station due to change of platform. Certain change of platform, people don't climb up. They try to cross that. And sometimes there is a mistake. Some found it difficult to climb up. So they would, in any case, even if the train, they will try to cross and reach there. कौन चढ़ने जा रहा है इतने ऊपर उतर के आएगा क्या?
Even older people maybe.
You are very right. But now with the escalators having come,
yes.
and by the way, the escalators were first time sanctioned by me as General Manager Northern Railway on Delhi station.
That's wonderful.
And there is an anecdote behind it.
Please, let's hear it.
You know, in 90s, my son was in IIT Bombay, and when I was DRM, at the beginning of the 2000 year, a lot of construction was going on due to this ROBs getting over bridges. Mr. Gadkari had, I think 52 or 53 of them were getting constructed.
Yes.
It was so difficult to reach Kanjurmarg or to reach from the Andheri side that we used to take train to go to, sometimes if we had to go to IIT. So one day I went along with my wife and we took a train from VT, got down at Kanjurmarg station and then tried to climb up. And I found it was so difficult for my wife to reach up to the top that she sat down on those stairs.
Oh my God.
And then I realized that she's having problem because she has not been doing regularly. What will be the predicament of older people and sick people and all that? And do you know why this came? When we changed from DC to AC, the height of the bridges went up by 2.5 meters.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
And we never thought that that's 2.5 meters. It will be like climbing an Everest for that person.
Correct, because it was actually the...
It's so high.
The
angle and the incline went up because you had no space on the platform.
Correct.
And you will occupy that much of space on the platform.
Correct.
Where overcrowding can happen.
Absolutely.
It is a very difficult thing. And I then realized...
That's fascinating.
I realized that we should go. I made the first request to Railway Board for getting escalators. A lot of people said, no, escalators will not work because Indian people do not know how to use escalators. That is what the bureaucrats talk like that.
Right.
They said there will be BDs and cigarette butts and all that, and the escalator will jam. We will be only having a team cleaning the escalator below that so that the rolling is not affected and all. I said, yaar, suno, ab mall mein lag rahe hain.
Correct.
तो यहाँ भी लगेंगे तो उनका then you have they are air conditioned.
Correct.
I said, but बीड़ी सिगरेट तो वहाँ पे भी हो सकती है.
Correct.
कुछ भी हो सकता है. Let us find out.
Correct.
Ultimately, I sanctioned it when I was GM Northern on old Delhi station.
Right.
And gradually it picked up.
Right.
It picked up in a big way. And now I think escalators are there all over Indian Railways.
So this happened for the suburban rail. For the suburban rail system on all three lines, now we've got escalators in place?
Should have. That was the policy we made.
Okay. So we can expect in the coming years...
At least one escalator for each platform should be there.
On each station?
Each station.
That's amazing.
Should be there.
Yeah.
I have not checked up recently.
But that is the policy. That is the policy.
That's the policy.
That's amazing.
That should be there.
Yes.
And later on it should be two.
Right.
Because some stations we have got three foot over bridges.
Correct.
Because when the volume is high.
Right.
So at least out of three, two can be made. I also suggested that you make it for climbing up. Let people come down on their own, but climbing up should be an escalator thing.
Absolutely, especially for the senior citizens.
So it is for you people now to take up this issue and do a study and find out what is happening.
We will hopefully have somebody to look at this and audit it and in a good way, basically, we are working with the machinery that's helping us run this city, not the other way around. Just a couple of observations. I think it's very important when you mentioned that there is a component of urban work of giving connections, giving access to hubs that doesn't take place and therefore people encroach onto the railway space.
Yes.
I think it's very interesting because Mumbai is a long city, it's a narrow city and it has these three lines that go through it which actually splinter the city. The city's fabric, if you want to use the word, is different on each side of each line.
Exactly.
Okay. So the railway lines actually are a divider as much as they are a unifier, not in a negative way, but just by being a big infrastructure. Similarly, the Western Highway, the Eastern Expressway, the Western Expressway, the Meethi River, all these physical features tend to divide. It is the job of planning authorities to recognize what are those features which divide the city and to accordingly plan for seamless connectivity between the two. Similarly, you know, and one more observation that you made, this 2.5 meters will also be applicable to the outstation trains?
It is due to 25 kV.
Right.
We were earlier having 1500 volt DC.
Right.
Now it is 25,000 volt AC.
Correct.
So because of the 25,000 volt, the induction effect goes at a longer length or space. So you have to keep it higher So there is no sparking or there is no effect.
Correct. Correct.
So it had to go up due to that.
So all trains.
All trains. And then with 25 kV, the designing is such that the locomotive, their panto and all, they are all designed like that should be the height.
Correct.
Height of the wire, then clearance above the wire should be so much.
Right.
So it will be now, 25 kV is universal in Indian Railways.
Right.
So it will be everywhere the same
Correct.
standard.
Correct.
Same height.
Now, we started off also saying that Mumbai was chosen as the headquarters of the Central Railways, the grand Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus, formerly known as the Victoria terminus, is an incredible piece of architecture.
Yeah, definitely.
By volume, the number of people it handles. Similarly, the Western Railways headquarters at Churchgate is again a behemoth and very large responsibilities, all operating out of this small geography. And outstation, Mumbai as a hub, of course, is important for people to come and go every day and travel every day up and down from work. But Mumbai as a hub is a critical hub. It is the commercial capital of this country, has been for the longest time. There's so many outstation trains coming in and sharing the same tracks.
Yeah, correct.
Now, how does the railways prioritize? How do you deal with this? Because the demand for outstation trains is going to be very high, and considering that people are popping out of the local trains, the demand for local trains is probably going to be higher.
Yes.
You're going to have pressure from both groups. How do you, is there a policy? How do you do this?
It's a very interesting question, Gautam. Always remember that the civilization progresses, and as the progress takes place, there is a change. It keeps on changing. The history tells us that Indus Valley civilization died only because they could not manage the change. What was happening during the modern period or up to the Gupta period, things were very different. Everything keeps on changing. And somewhere where you have a desert today, in fact 10,000 years ago probably there was a lot of greenery in that same area. Same way in an urban setup, a demographical change is always taking place. And what is a railway system or a suburban system or a transport system? It has to serve the people to reach their workplace or the place where they need to go, like high courts, hospitals, schools, and come back in time. Now this may keep on changing.
Right.
You very rightly said, you mentioned it's a narrow city, but it's no longer narrow. It has become very bulky. Just 20 kilometers from the tip,
Correct.
it is spreading like a trident.
Correct. Correct. Very true.
And that is a time when you should have gone for east-west connectivity. We got only Metro 1.
Correct.
In fact, by this time, we should have 5 or 6 of them.
Metro, absolutely. To complement the railways. Yes.
Another thing, it could have been by railways. It could have been by metro.
Yes.
But planners should have worked on it, what should be there and what should be done.
Right.
And then leave politics aside. It's the need of the people.
Right.
They have to commute. Now, I mentioned to you about the predictability of the railways being one of the USPs. The second one is the pricing.
Absolutely.
Now, you charge 25 paisa per kilometer in a second class.
Correct.
You charge about 1 rupee or less than 1 rupee, I think 72 or 74 paisa per kilometer in first class.
For the pass holder.
No. For a regular ticket. Your regular ticket from Borivali to Churchgate is 15 rupees. The distance is 30 kilometers.
Right. Right.
Now, when you make a pass holder, it is even less than 25 paisa.
Correct. So pass holder will be about 10 to 15 paise.
Something like that.
Yes.
So I just averaged it out.
Correct.
And it will be about 42 or 43. So
That's an
roughly you're
incredible
getting
number. It's an incredible number.
Now, what is the next mode of travel?
BEST.
What is the charges?
10 rupees is
But
yes.
minimum.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Now, even if you have to go to 2 kilometers, you pay 10 rupees.
Correct.
Here, in 15 rupees, you go Borivali,
Right.
which is 30 kilometers.
Right.
Now, this is a very big thing for the people who are surviving day to day in this organization.
Correct.
And there are many of
true.
them.
Correct.
And they are the cog in the wheel without which the wheel cannot run.
They are the majority, the marginalized
Not
majority.
only that, they are essential for you.
Yes.
Without them, your town cannot tick.
Correct.
They may be small, but their contribution is imperative
Right.
for the things to work smoothly.
Correct.
And they are traveling by train.
Correct.
They travel by other modes only when train is not available or it is heavily crowded.
Right.
Now, railway से भाई बहुत cheap है, तो मुंबईकर should say कि cheap है तो आपने रखा है, अब बढ़ाइए, और नहीं बढ़ा सकते तो don't patronize us कि अरे हम तुमको बहुत cheap रखते हैं इससे तुम लटके हुए जाओ, गिरते रहो, ये सब तुम्हारे है. You make it good enough, we can pay you a little more. There I'll tell you, in 2005-06, people did not have mobile phones. Today, everybody has a mobile phone, even the maids in the house, the thelawalas, they have the digital, UPI and all that on their thelas for payment. Times have changed. They have 300 rupees per month extra they can pay for that mobile phone, but they can't pay 20 rupees for an extra pass, value of the pass. It is wrong thinking.
Correct.
Very wrong thinking. But linked to that is another problem. Indian Railways cannot change the fares only for Mumbai.
Yes. So there has to be a policy that is driving this from the center, which is applicable.
So they say if I have to do it for Mumbai, I have to do it for Kolkata. I have to do it for Madras, Chennai. I have to do it in Hyderabad. I have to do it in Delhi for the ring road, ring rail.
Correct.
There is a ring rail in which about 20 AMUs run,
Correct.
hardly occupied,
Right.
25-30% occupation they are running.
Right.
But the fares there also will change.
But that sounds rather inefficient. Can't the railways be a little more reactive in terms of realities
The
on
law
ground?
doesn't permit it. You have to change the act.
Fair enough. I think
Indian Railways cannot discriminate. If I load cement from South Central Railway, I'll charge this much. If I load it from Rajasthan, I'll charge this much. Same rate per kilometer.
Correct.
A man traveling whether from Chennai or Madurai or Amritsar or Bhagalpur, same fare per kilometer.
Let me turn this question around 360 degrees. But the railway saw the justification to say, let's try AC locals in Mumbai.
Exactly. You've taken the... I wanted to bring you to this.
Yes.
Yes.
So there is clearly a recognition that Mumbai is
Not only
critically
that.
important.
Now AC travel is not there in Kolkata and Chennai.
Correct.
You could have made your own rules.
Correct.
Why you floundered that?
Correct.
You have missed that opportunity.
Right.
You could have made a season ticket costlier.
Yes.
They didn't.
Right.
Now, first class, you paid 85 rupees for a single journey.
Right.
First AC, you pay 95 rupees, 10 rupees more. You could have made it 150. People would have paid. But linked to that is another thing. When you introduce first AC travel or the air-conditioned travel, you say, I'll run a full AC train and I put 4 rakes. So one train will come to you after 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Now nobody is going to wait for 30 minutes.
Right.
If a train is missed, you wait 30 minutes or 20 minutes. उतने में तो वो कहाँ पहुँच जाएगा?
Correct.
He'll take a non-AC train and reach destination.
Correct.
So ideal thing would have been to put 3 coaches, 1 EMU set of air condition in every rake.
In every rake.
So you have an air conditioned travel in every rake
Right.
with a frequency of 1.5 minutes, 3 minutes on each corridor.
Right. Right.
That would have been very convenient for people.
Understood.
But somehow there again, railway is not doing it. Those who are not doing it, they should understand that this is a very serious problem. They are not serving the people well. And I think there is no technical problem which cannot be surmounted to make this available.
Sure.
And we have got, say, about 92 rakes in Western Railway, maybe 100 plus rakes in Central Railway. You need 3 coach units. So 1 rake brings 4 of them. So you need 40-50 rakes.
Correct.
And that will take care of every rake then. You don't need any more rakes.
Right.
And then every train, you will have those 3 air conditioned accommodation.
Right.
In 20 minutes, you will get how many such trains?
Correct.
You will get 14-15 trains.
That's amazing. That's
You will
absolutely
get
amazing.
about 45 coaches,
Right.
while you are giving only 12, 24. Double availability will be there.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, you see, it works out everywhere.
So, just a small commentary on what you've just said. This viewers, you must appreciate what the railways is dealing with when it talks about the Mumbai suburban rail system, bringing in things like the AC local. This is not an easy decision. And Vivek sir mentioned the lowest rung of the pyramid that makes up the marginalized majority of Mumbai. Let's not forget that 6 out of 10 Mumbaikars live in informal settlements. These are not people who can afford discretionary spend and luxury spend. They are the ones who are traveling at 15 paise and 20 paise per kilometer, and they're able to do it in this city every day, generation after generation, only because of the suburban rail system. It is this working class that defines Mumbai. We like to glamorize Mumbai, the city of dreams, the cities whose streets are paved with gold. All that is true. But none of that can exist without this working class. And we always, in our planning, have to be sensitive to this working class. And for that, we must stand up and applaud the suburban rail system for consistently having served the marginalized majority of Mumbaikars. So, coming back to the AC local, it's a very fascinating thing. I think almost like experimentally, they had tried to put it in. And then it has taken off.
It will.
And it has taken off gloriously, that there has been sustained demand for it. The number of services are going up. Someone is saying that all services are going to become AC at some point. There's some kind of conversation and pressure. And again, it's somewhere a battle between these two classes. The marginalized majority and the person who feels that he's the hard-working taxpayer who deserves better public transport. Why is the railway not doing it? Now, our next question deals with the metro line, with the metro system, of course. We've mentioned how there would have been great synergy between the railways and the metros, but it didn't happen in Mumbai. Hopefully, it will happen in the future because a lot of scope is there. Let's take this metro line 3. Okay, this metro line 3 is the Aqua line. That is Kulaba Charkop or Kulaba Seeps, sorry. And if you look at the alignment, it is parallel to Western Railways. I mean, when they start...
No.
I'm saying parallel.
No.
You are going to disagree on this one. Okay.
No, I think Metro Line 3 is going to change the way people commute in Mumbai.
Yeah.
The reason is it is connecting Kalina.
Yeah.
It is connecting MIDC.
Yeah.
The most unconnected by railway system.
Okay.
And that is where the jobs are. That students are in Kalina. It is actually going somewhere close to, in Kalba Devi area, where again, it is going to be a hit. It is starting from that Kulaba Woods in Kafparet.
Yes.
Before that Jupiter building or Jupiter Venus buildings are there where we've got the station.
Right.
People had to actually take a taxi from Churchgate to reach there.
Correct.
So, I mean, 4 or 5 locations are, in my mind, I studied in ORF. In fact, we had that competition about the architecture of the stations and all that. I was I was made the jury part of the jury actually. And that time I saw all the stations, and I think that is where you have to go connect the places where the jobs are, where the people have to compulsorily travel, and where the railway is not there. And I think it is, at least I found 6 stations very aptly located.
It's a very fair point. I think it's a very fair point. Also, we must recognize that initially the Western Railways ran all the way down till Balatpir.
Kulaba. The Badwar Park is where Kulaba railway station was there.
Correct. So, I mean, the irony is we are kind of redoing what was.
No, actually it was required to be close because there was hardly any traffic.
Which is the case now. South Mumbai registered negative growth. South Mumbai is dying.
So now you have raised another very important point which I will come. We'll finish your question, I'll tell you.
You know, in Marathi we say fate futtat. But the point is, I mean, it's not to find it funny or something of that sort. These guys, the government planned. It's not easy. Metros are very expensive projects. This one is an underground metro. It's the signature metro, Aqua Line 3 in the most posh part of the country, you can say, South Bombay. Okay. And they started work. Usme beech mein, railways were just like, why don't we put our own AC train on this line? Okay. Now these guys are spending between 30 and 40,000 crores on this one line alone. Line 3. Railways said, one day we will do this. 1 year later, they had the rails running, and now they're going to increase it. So there's going to be a lot. Whether they are, I'm not saying the stations are identical, but I'm saying the parallel aspect of it has a lot of overlap.
No, which train you're talking of? Railway puts?
The AC locals on the Western Railway
I'll come to
metro line.
Done, I've understood.
The question is that there's a big parallel alignment. it's almost like a duplication of a service which is similar, which is fundamentally comfortable air-conditioned travel from north to south along this corridor on the western side. By definition, these two lines are serving the same purpose. It seems like a sort of, almost like a prank on the metro rail to say कि हमने अभी ये बना दिया है. Now I will have a choice, or a lot of people will be having a choice, saying should I take the railways to do my north-south travel in the AC rakes, or should I take the metro? Then will we reach a situation where now there's a fair competition?
May I start?
Please.
That is a very, I'll say, pertinent question, but then I have an answer for that. Till 1990, the Indian cars were the air conditioned.
No.
Now, how many are non-air conditioned?
Except the taxis all.
Except the taxis. Why? The society has changed. A person who could afford the car can also afford the air conditioning of his car. Brought in, I think that this big social change was brought in by Maruti. And he brought a cheap car and all that, and then we found the air conditioner in the car became very cheap.
Right.
But now, when you talk of these marginal people, where they are living, you will find every one of their tenement has got a dish antenna.
Yes.
That means they have a TV.
Yes.
I won't be surprised if they have a fridge also inside.
Right.
So, if those who can afford, should they not travel in air condition? Should I not make an offer to them? Tell me. It is a societal change. That's why I'm saying every rake must have 3 such coaches. Those who can afford, let them go. If they can't afford, let them come on to first class or ordinary.
I think the gap is so vast.
But I'm coming to metro, then 3 after that.
Yeah.
We are not competitors. The clients of metro 3 will be very different from what the railway is doing. Because there, once you have to get down at Bandra and go to BKC, you spend not only time but money also. So you are back to square one. You come by metro line and you get down at BKC. You are up there and walk 3-4 minutes, you are in the office. So I think both things are good. Metro line 3, I must say, is the best thing which is happening to the town. And air-conditioned travel in railways must be improved. They are not competitors.
Right.
They are not competitors.
So you're not seeing them as competitors in
I'm saying that people are now...
But pricing wouldn't have to be something...
Yes, I agree. Air-conditioned pricing should change. Even I'm telling you, a person who, he pays 115 rupees for a season ticket from Borivali to Churchgate in a month. And he pays 350 rupees for his mobile phone.
Right.
He takes data also. He can afford that.
Right.
But he's not willing to pay 140 rupees for the ticket. I think he should pay 200 rupees. You should make a change in the... If you cannot do it in one go, keep on doing it every year. People will adjust.
I think it's a very fair point, but there is a real possibility that we are going to peripheralize a big portion of the population who actually can't afford. If the base fares change, then there will be a
I'm again raising a point. If he has got a mobile phone in his pocket and he's got a data connection in that and he's twiddling on his Facebook and Instagram, why can't he pay me in the railways? This is required for his livelihood. That is not required.
It's arguable, debatable whether the phone is as essential
Anyway,
or not.
I've made my point.
But I think the point is a fair point. I think to take from your point, I think yes, that the fares of the railways are ridiculously low. And today, there is greater affordability, there is a growing middle class, and we are lifting out of poverty, and there is a...
Correct.
It's an aspirational
thing. You are very right. What is Vande Bharat?
Correct.
Vande Bharat is aspirational for us. What is the bullet train?
Correct.
People love it.
Correct.
And we should have it.
Correct.
Only we should make it in such a way that it is not getting into tremendous loss. That's the only thing. But we need it.
Right.
Do it in the right way. People need it. The country needs it. It improves our taking pride in our society, taking pride in our nation. It improves the comfort people can use. It improves their health. when they are commuting, all those things are involved.
Of course.
So there are many latent benefits out of that.
And there are layers of.
Yes, layers and layers.
I think we'll move to this aspirational part because there's a lot to discuss there. But before we get there, there's a couple more questions on the suburban rail system. And the two are kind of complementary. The first is that you've done a lot of research on how to increase efficiencies on the suburban rail system. And some brilliant work has come out of that. We'd like to share that with our audience. So one is, we'd like to hear from you about that. And the second question, which of course I can repeat it, is as the metro network grows in Mumbai and it starts crisscrossing everywhere, when line 11 and 12 and 13 and 15 and hopefully 25 come into play, will the railways say, okay, now our responsibility here is over, we can pull back on the suburban rail system and focus on our outstation travel? What is this scenario? Because we have to look at it we are looking at the future of Mumbai in the Mumbai Manifesto. But let's start with your research and then we will get to this question.
It is again, very topical. What is going to happen, say, we should prepare a white paper on it, taking a vision of the next 20 years of Mumbai.
Absolutely.
Mumbai Manifesto can do that.
That's what we are into.
I think that railway is not going to lose its importance or preeminence in the system. Only because I can carry 4,000 or 5,000 people. If need be, I can move mountains. Mountain load of people can be carried.
Absolutely.
Of course, a day should come when people don't hang on the footboard. That should be the top priority. We should be in a position to make our economy class also such that when we close the door, there is enough circulation of air inside. Without AC also, there is a window seat on the suburban train. What is the importance given to that? Why people jump into the train while it is not only even stopped? Yeah. They want to take not only the window seat, they want to take the window seat which is facing the driver.
Correct, ventilation.
For ventilation.
Correct.
And it is air conditioned. That seat is air conditioned.
Correct.
We can do something inside in such a way, and I think MRVC did some very good job on that. It can further be investigated that we have an air conditioning so that we are in a position to close the door. I don't think that it is impossible. It is possible. People have not looked at it out of the box.
Can I just come in very quickly
Sure.
here? BEST, I remember, had done some study.
Achha.
And they realized that operating cost for a non-AC bus and an AC bus is not vastly different to the BEST itself. Has the railways done this analysis?
We have a fairly good idea of all that.
So if the operating cost vastly different?
There are two things. Pricing has got cost of service, value of service. Here value of service is involved.
Okay, so the second class non-AC is seen as an essential service, but the AC first class is seen as a value service.
You go for popcorns, which should come for 50 rupees outside, is sold for 150 rupees inside.
Correct, now much more.
I know, maybe much more. Why? In that there is a value attached.
Correct, and you must, you can't subsidize luxury.
Yes, it's not. But yet, I'm just telling, air conditioned, we have to keep it a little separate. So that it is not misused. It is not, again, overcrowding has to be avoided in air conditioning. While non-AC overcrowding still can be permitted, yet doors should be closed. People should not fall off.
Can I ask a slightly controversial question?
Sure.
So what you are saying is that the railways, it's not going to cost the railways that much more. On
the equipment cost and the cost of energy cost. There are only two costs.
Correct. But even the energy cost is not going to be vastly different.
I'm saying value of service.
So correct. So it is essentially the value of services. So there could be hypothetically in the near future a local train with a AC general class and an AC first class, where the AC general class is far more subsidized.
These are things to be researched, and later on somebody should.
But is it not very interesting? If the BEST can do it, then why not? Why not the Indian
But then railway will always retain its preeminence in the transport of Mumbai,
as it must, as it deserves to.
Yes, it deserves to, because it's mind-boggling. I will again tell you another anecdote. In '89, I had gone to. I was sent from the United Nations Development Program for a training in USA. So I went to Atlanta. Norfolk Southern Railway has got its headquarters in Atlanta. So we were made to meet the vice president, he's just next to the president, the vice president operations. 4 of us were there, probationary officers who had gone on training, the trainee officers. This gentleman said, "Okay, you're coming." I could say he had very low opinion of railways, Indian railways. Yes. So he told me, "Tell me something about your zonal railway, which is unique, and you think that is very important for me to know." Now there was a gentleman from Southeastern Railway. He said, "Sir, we carry 65 million tons." He said, "Norfolk Southern Railway carries 560 million tons." He immediately replied. So that is,
correct.
It doesn't excite me.
Correct.
So I told him, "Sir, I come from a zonal railway where I carry 3.6 million passengers every day in my trains." 3.6 million. So I'm just telling you, it's not apocryphal.
Right.
I said, "Yes, 3.6 million. He said, "Do you know how many zeros are there in million?" I said, "I can count the zeros in billion and trillion also." These zeros are given by India.
Correct.
He was shocked. Then he got up. And he went to his Almira, took out the Jane's Railway, that book which comes Jane's,
Yes.
on railways.
Yes.
He opened Indian Railways. He opened Western Railway. He saw the suburban traffic and he said, "You are right." So I said, "Sir, why did you not trust my figure?"
Correct.
I went after him.
Right.
So I told you, why did you not trust it? But then I realized that we are doing something which they can't even imagine.
Correct. Scale.
Scale is so much, these people cannot understand that so many people can be carried in a single day.
Correct.
So that is what is Mumbai Railway.
And within this challenge, you have worked out a far more efficient way.
And the timetabling is done manually.
Right. So can you elaborate on this a little more? Because
Yeah, I have
know that
some
at
views
ORF
about it. We did
yeah.
that work
Yeah.
for making our Saral timetable,
Yeah.
which was not very well accepted, but I think railway, someday some wisdom will dawn on them.
But this will be of interest particularly to those who use the trains daily.
Yes.
Please pay attention to this. This could be a game changer. If you see the value in it, I'm sure you will. Please also lobby to get something like this institutionalized.
You see, in 1973, I joined railways. At that time, a lot of construction was going on at Churchgate station. Do you know what it was? It was the 4th platform which was coming up. There were only 3 platforms at Churchgate till 1974 March. So when I came to join, I had to walk over or dug up area with planks kept on that and walked over to Churchgate GM office building and then joined. And I had not known railways. I came straight from university and cleared the civil services and joined it. So I asked somebody, "What is going on here?" He said, "4th platform ban raha hai." हमें तो ये नहीं पता था कि प्लेटफॉर्म कितने होने चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए. But the fact is this 4th platform came here because the quadrupling was only up to Grant Road earlier. The quadrupling from Grant Road to Churchgate was done only in 1974.
Right.
And what did it serve? Your
South
Cuff Parade
yeah.
and Nariman Point would have been dysfunctional if the line 4 has not come.
Correct. All of South Bombay, the heart of the city, the central
All the trains
business
came
district.
here.
Yes.
I'm coming to something, so I'm just telling you this, that this is one thing. The quadrupling was up to Borivali. Borivali was double line, only 2 tracks. The quadrupling came there when I was additional general manager in 2006, much later. What was the idea of that quadrupling? We thought that we would be running local trains, fast local trains on that. And we would be running the slow local trains on one corridor. Railway never made the change. They are still running the trains from Virar to Borivali on the slow track, saying that we have to stop the train at every station. Then we told them that even if you stop the train at every station, the signaling is such that you can still manage and probably you will put in more throughput. Throughput is number of trains which can be put. The higher throughput can be put in it, made to run on that corridor. In the timetable in ORF, our research showed that they were using only 42% of the available capacity between Borivali and Virar on that new corridor.
I see.
I was saying that we are choked. Now, there was a time when I used to have 5 trains going to BPT every day. I used to have 4 to 5 trains going to Karnak Bandar every day. And all of that was taking place. One at Bandra via King Circle, another is Dadar going towards VT, and from Asgaon to Karnak Bandar. If you have an idea where Karnak Bandar is.
Yes, of course.
We used to have 4 trains or 5 trains every day. And I was posted in Balsar in 1976-77.
These were freight trains or these?
Freight trains. All that is now stopped. So you had passage for that. So when you made the change, exploit that capacity fully. So after quadrupling, we have not yet made our timetable aligned with that infrastructure which has come.
Understood.
So my suggestion was that now slow train will run on slow traffic and fast trains will run on fast traffic. And you have that arrangement of stopping. You know, when a train starts from Borivali coming fast to Churchgate, it runs slow from Borivali to Andheri, and then it runs fast. So they said that if I run this train slow on the fast corridor, it will actually reduce capacity. I didn't agree with that. Now, I'll tell you the reason for this. We have MRVC has gone in for very high technology rakes, which are fit for 100 kmph running. We have changed the crossovers from 1 in 8.5 to 1 in 12, which provide us a speed of 30 kmph while encountering the crossover and shifting to the. Earlier it used to be 15 kmph.
Right.
And I have got a better acceleration and deceleration in these rakes. So I said that if that be so, what you can do that every train which is following the stopping kind of a train should run at coast at 40 or 50 kmph. It will not encounter any red signals, and the average speed will still be above 40 kmph. If it is coming at 40 to 50 kmph, coasting, you will get a 43, 44 kmph average. So the technology is such that loco will control itself. The motorman will be able to do it conveniently. And I showed it on the computer, but somehow people are not able to take it. I only hope someday somebody will take up. We found with the same number of rakes, we could have introduced 139 more trains on the system.
Wow.
In the 24 hours, I mean the 20 hours of working.
But in terms of percentage increase, how much would it?
It would be about 13 or 14% increase.
Wow, that's a staggering number for zero capital investment.
And if some more improvements were done, that is, if this now 100 kmph rakes are today running at only 70-75 kmph. We have spent the money, we have put in the money in the manufacture of such rakes, and they are not running at 100 kmph. They have the, you've got a Mirage or you've got a Rafael, and then using it as Hunter.
Correct.
Something like that.
Suboptimal use.
Very suboptimal use. So this is what we were professing, and I still profess. Another thing, in Central Railway, there is a calculation that Kurla to VT or CSMT, the headway is only 4 minutes. That means you can have a train at every 4 minutes, which makes it 15 trains in an hour. I maintain that it's 3 minutes. You can run 20 trains. And I can prove it mathematically.
Right.
But their mathematics is modern algebra.
Correct. And we have the technology today. It gets better and better, and these are things we must aggressively look at because it changes
Brakes are better. They are running better. I tell you, we have got better brakes. Till 1991, we were having cast iron brakes. Every 36 hours, the rake had to go to the car shed only to change the brake blocks because they would be totally burnt and become 1 inch or 2 inch thick from 12 inches. The cast iron brakes used to be getting heated up and the iron would evaporate. We have gone in for composite brake blocks. The composite brake blocks have a life, long life. So now rakes are not going there, and they brake very well. So you have got, everything is in favor of increasing the usage and taking the best out of the juice out of the technology that you have already paid for.
Correct.
I think that is still to come fully.
Right. Understood. It's called the Saral timetable. So if you have a link that you can provide us through the Mumbai Manifesto, we're happy to share some of this
We
research with
didn't put it on the web at that time. We didn't want any activism. We thought that railway will get offended, and we did not do it. And railway did not accept it. And if they don't accept it, we cannot implement it.
Sure.
I don't want people going to court and all that and having a fight. I was not wanting it that way. I still will like to, make the bureaucrats understand, those who are important, those who take these decisions, that this is the correct decision.
So as a message from the Mumbai Manifesto to the MRVC, to the Central and Western Railways, to the rail ministers and to the powers that be, this is something that has the potential to change millions of lives every single day. Millions of lives of people who are traveling up and down on the Mumbai suburban rail system. There's almost minimal investment in this, a minimal change that's going to bring about such a large, tangible, positive benefit to so many people. Please do look at this and give it a very serious consideration. So moving on, you've spoken about so much quadrupling, and I have no doubt it's made. And people really, they are, as soon as the work is announced, they are excited in this, But Sidco ke saath thoda unfairness ho gaya aisa, it's what happened with Sidco. Navi Mumbai, was supposed to be the savior of Mumbai. It was supposed to decongest the city, and it became a very elitist place and an investment destination because only road connectivity was there for the longest time. Today, default it has filled up. There's no space left in Mumbai, so default it has filled up. And then my understanding was that Sidcos and railways got into some kind of negotiation.
I'll tell you. This is something, though I don't know it fully well, but I was DRM Bombay.
Yeah.
I was DRM Mumbai CSMT area, Central Railway, and the whole Navi Mumbai was connected to me. In fact, during my time, 20,000 those tenements were removed, and I brought in a timetable where on 6th January 2002, we introduced 65 extra train services by reducing the running time, especially for the New Mumbai. Please remember that New Bombay was the concept of New Bombay was dead till Mankhurd to Vashi was connected.
Correct.
It took off only after the railway line reached Vashi.
Yes.
First thing. So, all those buildings and all, platforms, beautiful thing and all that, they were not bringing anything with no connectivity. Today you have got connectivity to Trans Harbour Line to Thane. You have got connectivity to Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Kurla and all that. Now, please value this.
It is very valuable. There's no doubt.
So now Sidco should also value this. Now, what happened? I'll just tell you. No, not fully. So they gave the land for they built up the station, and we have to have the station master. We have to have the signaling people. We have to have our electrical staff for maintaining it. They have to get their offices. They have to park their vehicle somewhere. No, they are not commercial. They are not Infosys and Wipro and. You have to look after them. That is where I think the tussle took place. They wanted rent on that on the basis of the rent.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then railway said, "Acha, ye karna hai. Aage ke sab project ruk gaye."
That's a pity.
This is what was happening. I don't know what it is today. But everything can be solved across the table.
Correct.
Sit down together, solve it.
In hindsight, sir, while we appreciate what the railways and what Sidco has done, just imagine with 4 lines on that instead of the single patri we have today, same thing like the Virar Andheri corridor or the Virar Borivali corridor extension. If we had this kind of a connectivity, Navi Mumbai would have been something vastly different.
Navi Mumbai will not get freight traffic.
Right.
So that has to be done by Sidco.
Right.
It will probably not have long distance traffic coming.
Correct.
And should not. We have got Panvel connected to long distance. We have got a tunnel going to Karjat. Correct. We have got a train going to south,
right.
Konkan railway side. That will be the connectivity. In fact, in 2010, I sanctioned as chairman of the board a terminal at Panvel, long distance terminal.
Right.
That should come up.
Right.
So that the New Bombay people should not travel to this Lokmanya Tilak terminus, LTT, and CSMT, or to Bombay Central, or to Bandra. I mean, why should they come from all the way from there and go back in that direction?
Correct. So one is the concept of moving wealth. You see, the problem with Mumbai, was that wealth concentration was so extreme here, considering the geography of the hinterland. And there's an absolute failure to spread that wealth on part of policymakers, and this is not a blame game of any sort. The state government, the central government, and the city government,
See,
I think all must take responsibility for the failure to spread the wealth and the prosperity of Mumbai. Navi Mumbai is one example, but I want to take it further, where I'm going to question the railways a little bit here. You see, one of the most beautiful journeys out of Mumbai is the one that goes to Pune.
Yes, correct.
Yes, and Deccan Queen brings a smile to my face.
Yes, correct.
You know, we've travelled in the Pragati,
Nothing like
the
it.
Deccan Queen, the
Nothing.
Indrayani, the Deccan Express, you know, the whole lot, those beautiful red, blue and white coloured trains, later on that became. But these are signature journeys, you know, there's nostalgia associated with it. For the longest time, these journeys were 3.5 hours. I think in 100 years, it has come down by 15 minutes.
Yes. I have an answer for that.
Now imagine, you know, at one end we are saying that bullet train now, you know, and Ahmedabad is going to be 5 hours away, but Pune will still be 3.5 hours away. If we had connected Mumbai and Pune within 1 hour with the railways, it doesn't even require this technology and this speed.
Come on.
Look, this is my role, sir.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
This line to Pune came sometimes at the end of the 19th century.
Yes.
What was the gradient given from Lonavala to Karjat? It is 1 in 37. Much steeper than even road. So there, when you're coming down, there is this heavy speed restriction, because if a train is run away, then you must have seen that Hollywood picture, I think, that about the train which ran without the loco driver and was running unstoppable.
Correct.
That train is unstoppable. People will die in scores. So that portion, it's very difficult to come down at a higher speed. There's a lot of rain, there's a lot of moisture there, a lot of tree leaves falling on the track which cause the wheels to rotate.
Traction, yes.
So when all that is there combined, one should have absolute confidence that if I permit higher speed, then people are safe in the train. That is, even I found it very difficult. I have footplated number of times just to assess how my train is running. Can I increase the speed? There are catch sidings, you know. There are long sidings where a train has to be caught in the net if it is unstoppable.
Right. In fact, there used to be that ramp
you've
also.
seen that ramp.
Yes.
It is for that purpose only.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons that coming down, you cannot go at more than, I think, if the speed is 15 or 20 kmph. So the journey becomes very long from Lonavala to Karjat.
Correct.
Another thing is, to provide that brake power, you have to attach 3 locos coming down. Why? The loco provides the brake,
Correct.
the addition and that strength.
Correct.
So the train is not running away.
Correct.
Then it has to be detached.
Right.
When it is detached, the whole air pressure pipe and all has to be recalibrated. Again, you have to change, because there is more pressure coming over here. So it takes another 10-15 minutes extra. So you lose about 30-40 minutes or maybe 45 minutes extra on that first
I
thing.
see.
And when you come down from Karjat, just after Ambernath, you are entered the suburban system.
Correct. So then the priority is for
Priorities
suburban.
are different.
It's a very interesting point. So I think recently there was an announcement that they are going to do some tunneling on this section also for the railways.
It's very costly, yeah. Somebody should find. If they are getting the money and I don't know. But
one does a cost-benefit analysis. If
so
you're saying,
that's why we said initially we were wanting this bullet train to go up to Pune. Ahmedabad Pune was
it must.
the route railway had given was Ahmedabad Pune. Right. So we said that Bombay to Pune also will be covered in
Correct.
that. And you make it a gradient of manageable type, 1 in 80 or 1 in 100.
Right.
So that the trains can still run at 200 kmph.
Right.
But 1 in 37, with that kind of technology, not possible.
Correct.
So that is, I hope I have.
Yes. Yes.
But there was another question you had put in this.
Yeah. No. This. The idea was that, you know, so Mumbai Nashik may not have this problem, but Mumbai Nashik is the same distance.
No. You've got Kasara.
Kasara Ghat. So everywhere the western.
Same 1 in 37.
So it is
It is even worse.
Okay. So the Deccan Plateau is our
It is
challenge.
longer. Yes, Deccan Plateau is the challenge.
Deccan Plateau.
Climbing up.
Okay.
And what the Konkan Railway did?
Right.
Tunnel after tunnel. We had 104 tunnels.
Correct.
Mr. Shizan said, मैं तो tunneling कर देता हूँ और I will not go via the coastal region because every time I'll have to climb up and come down, climb up, come down. ट्रेन खत्म हो जाएगी इसमें.
So again, is there any scope? Because you see, from the state government's point of view, these two are vital corridors. Mumbai, Pune, Mumbai, Nashik, Pune, Nashik. And
that is for, the planning commission, Niti Aayog and all to find out how much funds required, how they go. We thought that Ahmedabad to Pune bullet train will solve the problem of Mumbai-Pune commute because
Correct.
people from Mumbai can use the same train and reach less than 1 hour into Pune.
Correct.
But वो बना नहीं.
I think that's a little bit of planning myopia at some
Maybe.
level.
There must be some reason.
Right.
Must be something should be done.
Right.
Even now something should be done for that.
Because it literally becomes a suburb, everything in the middle, affordable housing is not a problem anymore, spreading of wealth, spreading of entrepreneurs is not a problem anymore, new industry, all this, they were losing industry. How much industry Mumbai has lost because there is no affordable housing and Pune was not a viable destination. Now if we had these connections, selfishly from Mumbai's and Maharashtra's perspective, there would have been an immense prosperity simply by the spreading of wealth. We are facilitators.
I agree.
Just on that note, I want to just thank the railways for the Deccan Queen. What a magnificent, train that
it is.
And she celebrated
I
90
think the
years.
Konkan railway train is even better now. The train which runs
Konkan Kanya.
No. That morning evening train that, what is that called? It's a very fast train.
Madgaon?
To Madgaon.
Yes.
It runs on almost Rajdhani timings.
Right.
That's a beautiful train.
Right. The Janashatabdi, I think.
Janashatabdi.
Janashatabdi. Yes, these are all very beautiful trains. The Deccan Queen is the nostalgia and the Divadkar Vada Pav that used to come at Karjat and that journey was something. The railways, it just is such a microcosm. You're traveling with India, and you get a flavor of India.
Absolutely.
From the dabbas that open up, from the different cultures that occupy that train. It is
train journey is so fascinating. You're traveling, you understand India.
Absolutely.
I mean, Mahatma Gandhi did it in 1915.
Right.
He traveled all across India in trains and he understood what was India.
Yeah, it's an absolute. It should be one of the wonders of the world, the Indian railways. I think coming back to Mumbai, and of course there's been a lot of proposals. Somebody wanted to connect Churchgate and VT underground, and there were so many other proposals that coming, but there wasn't a way to communicate with the government or the MCGM or the MMRDA or the various parastatal agencies, the MSRDC, the PWT. So many. Eventually, the MRVC was formed, but there are still many pain points.
Yes.
Okay, and it's a great initiative that the MRVC was formed. But something as simple as station area management. Your jurisdiction ends, his jurisdiction starts. Then there is a complete breakdown of how that should be integrated into one. I'm just going to highlight a few. As important as the railways are, the BEST has been equally important in terms
yes, it is.
And it's very close to the passenger
almost
numbers.
Equal number of passengers.
Even today, it is very close to the passenger numbers and it is seeing a revival. But this station area management, where how the bus comes in, where the bus stops, where the passenger gets out from, it could have been so much. It takes little planning, sir. It could have been so much. And this is not a blame game at all. Equally, the state and the city
people
and
have
the
to
BST.
sit together. Even during monsoon, the inundation that takes place, it's all coordination work.
Correct.
It is there.
And the metro.
Umta is something which was to be done. That is something which has to be.
What has been your experience on dealing with city government, state government, and these parastatal?
I tell you, in my time, when I was DRM at Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal,
right.
In 2002, I really understood how water was, getting accumulated onto the track during the monsoon.
Right.
And we did a survey, BMC Municipal Commissioner Mr. Shrivastava, KC Shrivastava, KC Shrivastava,
right.
Karun Chand Shrivastava ji,
right.
Very senior officer, and myself, we went around. And you believe me, 2002 monsoon, not a single day centrally train services were cancelled or if they were running late by 5 to 10 minutes. We didn't allow water to come on the track. There was a lot of thinking went into it. But Again, if people apply their mind, and I must say that VMC gave us full support.
BMC is also
And I
very
also
underappreciated.
worked very, but they are also having a very tough time for that.
They're very underappreciated.
Yes,
It's a thankless job.
I must say, they were very good people.
Right.
There were some very good additional municipal commissioners, and we achieved something in that year.
There's some wonderful initiatives which are completely unknown to the common man, where there's a lot of effort being put in by authorities, and
Yes.
somewhere when we get to learn, there is a serious appreciation.
There was a lot of method in that.
But why could that not be scaled up or replicated?
I got changed in 2002. Then gradually, again things died up. I think 2003 was also quite okay, but from 2004 onwards.
2005 was not okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, but 2005 was an exception.
That was very exceptional.
No, fair enough. I think there have been various brilliant initiatives that are out of the box thinking by the railways.
But you see, when the bomb blast took place in the urban system, next day we were up and running.
Incredible. You have a humongous role to play in that
but
also.
Then,
yes.
it's the people who did it, the railway people. It can be done.
Right.
If there is a good directions to the people and good thinking, and it can be done, and everything can be solved.
Has it become safer and less vulnerable to terrorist attack, or it's still very difficult? How do you screen 6 million, 5 million?
I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
It's my theory.
Yeah.
Since we were running the next day fully, I think they realized that yaar bekar itna dimag kharab kiya. See, they expected that railway would not be running for 3-4 days.
Correct.
And there will be a lot of tension in the town.
Correct.
And something more will happen.
Correct.
हमने तो next day सब चला दिया. Even the children were going to schools.
Correct.
Small children were going to school next day morning.
Correct.
So we ran everything. So there's no effect. It took just 24 hours for people to forget that they were bomb blast.
Right.
So I think that's why they realized, क्या कहते हैं इसको, marginal utility नहीं है इसकी.
Correct. I mean, it was a black day for us as a city.
It was very sad, but the way railwaymen responded that night.
It is a part of lifting the spirit of Mumbai, and it is integral to the spirit of Mumbai.
And I ran trains whole night.
That's an incredible achievement.
I took a decision, empty trains would be running.
Yes.
So people will hear the noise.
Correct.
The trains are running.
Correct.
They're not stopped.
Correct.
So every morning, with the morning they get up, they go to their work.
You have played an incredible role just in the aftermath of these blasts, and it's again little known, but those who know, they know. I think coming back to some of these brilliant initiatives, one sustained initiative was the Lady Special.
Oh, yes.
Right? Now, the Lady Special was introduced some 30 years ago. I don't know how this works in other parts of the country for suburban rail, but Mumbai Lady Special is a very appreciated thing, and it is an absolute success. It celebrates the woman in.
Should I give you the story behind it? It's a very interesting story, and I have a ringside view of that.
Please.
There was a general manager in 1992-93, Mr. Vathisaran.
Mr.
Vathisaran, Tamilian, settled in Chennai. His daughter was going to college in Andheri, I think to Narsi Munji or somewhere. She used to go to study. And she used to travel by train from Grant Road. GM Western Railway has a bungalow in Kambala Hill. She would come to Grant Road and take a train from Grant Road, go to Andheri, and return like that. And she said that there's so much of problem in the ladies' compartment, and the number is so large. I talked to them. We are actually so many that we can fill a full train. She gave that idea. We were initially not believing her. But then meeting took place where Mr. Vathisaran said, let us try and run one pair of ladies special at this time in the morning coming from there and this time in the evening. It was not meant for his daughter because daughter was going in the morning from Grant Road to Churchgate, to Andheri. He made the morning train come from Borivali to Churchgate. An evening train from Churchgate.
Aligned with traffic.
Aligned with the traffic. I tell you, people can be so patronizing. They said even, they can't manage themselves in a train fully. I said, why? This is, it is not in their grain. They will fight and they will feel lost. All sorts of things. Very senior officers talking like that. Mr. Vathisaran kept on listening and ultimately said, yes, I now see you all are in favor of the train. But worse was going to follow. The train was introduced. I think within 20 days an incident happened. somebody started a scare in the ladies special that there is a fire in the coach. They pulled the chain and many of them jumped out of the compartment and some of them were run over by the train coming from my God. It's a factual thing. It shocked us. And immediately meeting took place and they said, lo and behold, I told you that they cannot manage themselves. Had there been men in the compartments, they were told कि नहीं fire नहीं अभी मत कूदो नहीं ये नहीं करो इस टाइप का ये किसी ने उमर चला दिया.
How?
Where was the fire?
How sexist, my God. That's shocking.
It's shocking, but people, ladies were run over. I think 6 or 7 of them were run over. So that was, we didn't know what to do now. It was unanticipated. But then we continued with it.
And what a success
And
it
now
was.
we continued with it and that was the best. To have this kind of an incident and still decide no. And we had to introduce another pair. We had to introduce third pair. I think now 4 pairs are running.
That's incredible.
We started from full and it became an international news.
Yes. Deservedly so.
Yeah, it went all over the world. Western Railway got letters from everywhere that what a fantastic thing you do. And though ladies tried in many other towns, they could not succeed.
Right.
So that talks of the gents in Mumbai also, who at least permitted it to be run.
No, in fact, sir, you know, the stories I hear from so many friends, women who travel, is that one is they started changing their timings to catch the lady special.
Yes,
number one.
And we had a lot of thinking going in what time should we give.
Correct.
It was again a matter of research for railways. So we did it.
And the other thing I will tell you this, consistently ladies tell me, late at night, when there's no lady special, so many ladies, something that Sahai sir just said, so many ladies are far more comfortable getting into the men's compartment,
Yes.
into the gents compartment because they feel safer.
Yes, I agree.
This is Mumbai, this is my city, and this is a fact. This is also a story completely intertwined, interconnected with the romance of the suburban rail system and the city. Now, sir, in contrast to the beautiful initiatives that the railways have done, there's one thing that has become a part of Mumbaikar's life. It's mega block.
Mega block.
Mega block is a mega part of everybody's life. क्या होता है mega block? Why do we have to have? Will this mega block thing ever stop?
This also has a genesis. What happened that sometime in 1988, Government of India decided that suburban traffic will no longer be a responsibility of the Indian railway system. It was a policy for India, not from Mumbai alone. So Urban Development Ministry will look after the urban mobility and will spend on it, will create a budget for it and will take up the cases. And the railway board stopped giving money for suburban rail system in Mumbai. Within 5 years, the system was floundering. And we had such bad situations that 2 stations were burnt in Western Railway.
Oh, really?
There was, yes, find out, these all recorded things.
Wow.
Trains were stopped, staff was beaten up because we were not able to run trains, they were getting cancelled. New rakes had not come, rakes were failing, OHE was failing, maintenance money was not coming because of this policy. Policy was there. So then till that time we used to maintain only night time. There used to be a 4-hour window in the night from say 12:30 or 1 o'clock to up to 4:30 or something like that in different areas. For 4 hours, people, all Mumbai railway staff used to work in night for 4 hours and do the work.
When you say maintain, it is the rakes or it is the rakes and the rail tracks?
It's the track and OHE.
Okay.
And the rakes also inside the car sheds. But that did not need a mega block. Mega block was needed for the track and the OHE.
OHE is overhead electrical.
Overhead.
Yeah.
Overhead. Bias.
Yeah.
So there was so much of backlog that in 97, when the money came by 95, 96, we found that it was inadequate time which was stopping usage of that money. We didn't have time to do that kind of work. So it was decided on Sundays when traffic is less, we would take a 7-8 hour block so that we are able to clear the backlog of maintenance.
Right.
So it should have been over in 8-10 years, but now it has become
Part of life.
Part of life. I think railways should take another look at it, whether it is needed. Again, the technology has changed. Rails are different.
Automation is not a possibility.
Machines cannot maintain the track in railway that well. A lot of culverts and ROBs, RUBs and all. So where manual intervention is required, but then have an open mind and deal with it.
Right.
Yes, Sunday blocks were not being taken earlier. I think it creates problem for people because Sunday is the only day when they come out with their family to go somewhere, when the trains are not there. And such people actually buy single journey ticket, not the monthly season tickets.
Right.
So they pay you more. A man may be having an MFT for him, but maybe his wife and children do not have that kind of a pass for going to where they want to.
Right.
So they will have to buy a single journey ticket.
Correct.
So more money will come.
Right.
If Sunday blocks are reduced.
Correct.
And we try to do the work in night, but again, safety should be paramount.
Correct.
It has to be assessed.
You make a very interesting point, is that Mumbai is a very hardworking city. We have very little open space.
Yes.
And people want to get out
of the family. You are right.
Sunday कोई आपने
मारवे बीच जाना है, मलाड जाना है.
कितना मुश्किल हो जाता है.
How do you go to Malad? Train is not there.
Exactly.
You cannot go by taxi.
Exactly. So these are some considerations, but for what we have got from the railways, we are very grateful. As a city, we are very hardworking as a population, and we will keep demanding from the railways. So please expect
that is what is democracy.
That is what is democracy. So please expect that from us, from the Mumbai Manifesto, from Mumbai Kars. Sir, you have been an asset to the entire country through your service in the railways, but we know you are a Mumbaikar.
Yes, I am.
And as the Mumbaikar in you, and with your vast experience and expertise and knowledge, can you envision the next 20 years of railways and Mumbai together? What are some of the big changes you see? What are some of the big challenges you see? What are some of the big positives that you see emerging? And
I'll tell you. Now the 5th, 6th lines are coming up and they will be soon ready. So long distance traffic will be taken care of. I think we should have air conditioned travel for everybody. We may make some changes for having a cheaper ticket in that. How we do it, it can be, people should sit together and then decide how to do it. Make a cheaper one or make a costlier one, so that you are able to recover the cost somewhat. People should never get anything free, that is my theory. They should pay for it as much as they can afford. We decide on that भाई ये इतना पे कर सकता है, ये इससे ज़्यादा कर सकता है, उसका कुछ बना के रखना चाहिए. But I think we should have air conditioned travels and people should not fall onto the track. We should ensure that people do not jump the track, they don't walk along the track, so that there is no cases of run over on the railway track. And it is possible. See, one of the decisions that I took as chairman of the board was 17,000 unmanned level crossing gates getting removed in India. 17,000.
Wow.
And my minister, when she saw my plan, Ms. Mamta Banerjee, she immediately approved it. And today there is not a single unmanned level crossing gate in India.
That's incredible.
And level crossing gate accidents are just vanished. They might be one.
Correct. By and large.
In 2010, I had 55% of my train accidents were only level crossing gate accidents. 55%.
Wow.
Today it is not even 1%.
Wow, that's a humongous change. That's a humongous change.
Same way, we should plan for railways. It is possible.
Right.
Think correctly, cogently, sit together, coordinate, and then come at and leave your egos in the almiras, lock it, and sit without ego and decide what the people need.
Yes.
Solutions will come.
Yes.
Okay?
For the sake of Mumbai, MRVC, the authorities within the central government, the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, the Mumbai Metropolitan Region Development Authority, please all of you must come together for the future of Mumbai. If you're planning for 20 years, each agency, each parastatal agency requires to take equal ownership and work with the railways, support the railways in every way possible to deliver the best service and the best quality of life to every Mumbaikar. Vitally important. So there's one point I missed out as a question. Lady special, beautiful. Toilet facilities for ladies?
No.
So there's so many women who are complaining
We cannot maintain it. Use the toilet at the platform.
Not in the train, I'm saying in the platforms.
In platforms.
Platform.
No, that is. I thought you were wanting in the ladies'
So
station.
there is some about there has
Not
to be
in the
minimum
train.
not in the train.
It will become a problem. It cannot maintain. Platform. I
on the
think
platform.
D-Mart people are doing some work. I believe they have done some very good work at Ghatkopar, and Central Railway is now going in for Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus work of toilets to be given to D-Mart.
But PPP?
I think they're doing it from the CRS.
Okay. Because for so many
CSR.
years,
I mean,
corporate
CSR,
social.
corporate social responsibility.
But
I'm sorry.
I mean, it is still a PPP because the railways is not taking the responsibility.
But
to do it.
they are providing all the help. They're providing all the help.
I mean, if we are able to provide a bullet train, we surely can provide
Look, it is
good quality toilets.
It is the habit. This is something which I have got. I mean, I found out it was an uphill task. I tried my best. I improved so much that I'll sometimes show you a press cutting of 2002. Again, a Swiss journalist came and then wrote an article on the improvement in Central Way upkeep of stations.
Okay.
But then I tell you, it was impossible. Sometimes I went at 4 o'clock in the morning to see the toilets being maintained. Habit is that you come to job at about 8 o'clock or 8:30, change and then start sweeping when the crowd has already come. I decided that you will come at 4 o'clock, finish the job at 7:30. By the time crowd builds up on the platform, your platform should be spick and span.
So logic is simple. If a mall,
But now nobody comes. There was a time when, in peak time, you never found any of these garbage trucks on the road. But they are there. In the peak time, they are running ahead of you sometimes.
it's absurd.
Absurd.
Yeah.
People used to work at night to maintain the track, to the road.
Correct.
This road, I used to live in Badwa Park.
Yes.
I was once, I used to walk to Churchgate at that time. I was walking and I found some work was going to take place at 6 o'clock in the evening when I was coming from the office. I found, हमने कहा अब जो कल तो ये यहाँ बड़ा problem रहेगा. Next day when I came, the work was over. Next morning.
Correct.
And the road was spick and span.
Correct.
That is what was Mumbai 1988, 89,
Correct.
91, 92.
Correct.
We have to change these habits.
Correct.
If we can't, then we'll live like this. I will muddle through.
I think it is a bit of an embarrassment, to be honest, that ladies have consistently complained of urinary tract infections because they are afraid to. They don't drink water before they leave their workplace. They are traveling long hours. They have responsibilities to get home and prepare meals. That's the average day of a lady who's using the suburban rail, working and then going and managing her home. And within that, she's not able to relieve herself.
It has to be done at the platform. It has to be done correctly.
In 2024, we cannot have this. So
I agree.
It's something that we are hearing, and it will become part of the manifesto as well. Please to support it. There are so many topics to discuss. I know I
think we are now.
I think just the anecdotes and
people will get bored now with this.
They will never get bored of listening to this. But sir, it has been an absolute pleasure. It's been an absolute honor. I know what it is to get so much of your time on a topic like this and to be so candid about so many things. Thank you so much for being on the Mumbai Manifesto.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Gautam,
Vivek
for
Sahai.
having invited me. It was a pleasure talking to you. And I hope the service system in Mumbai will keep on improving and use some new ideas. Maybe others have some better ideas, but then improve the services for the people of the town. They need it.
We must. Thank you.
Thank you.